Ok.
Rapport avec les maniocs, c'est ça.
Oh, I plantains.
Globalized micronutrition.
Who's it our mind? Okay, yeah. The next.
From work with the Ministry of Health, Department of
Industry in Malawi. My favorite.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul, and I'm here.
I think the next table, yeah. Wow.
So all of them are my
Multi-talented. Most squash. Oh, yeah.
But I'm also part of the
Dancing.
Today, we gather to address a pressing challenge, the prevention and control of micronutrient deficiencies. These deficiencies affect millions of people in Eastern and Southern Africa, particularly women and children, resulting in preventable illnesses, stunted growth, and poor cognitive development. Kenya has made tremendous progress in reducing micronutrient deficiencies, particularly through the successful implementation of universal salt iodization since the 1970s. Universal salt iodization has contributed to the reduction of goiter prevalence to less than 6%. According to the 2022 Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, over 99% of Kenyan households now consume adequately iodized salt. In addition, Kenya has been at the forefront of food fortification and has it mandatory for fortification of pre-packed wheat and maize flour, as well as the vegetable fats and oil since 2012. These initiatives have increased the availability of essential micronutrients like iron, vitamin A, vitamin B complex, and zinc. This concentration is an opportunity to reflect on our progress, share best practice, and discuss the strategies needed to overcome these hurdles and expand our programs. We also look forward to hearing best practices from other countries and partners on how to strengthen public-private partnerships in large-scale food fortification. The role of the private sector is essential, and contribution will be key to expanding access to fortified food across the region. Our efforts align with global frameworks, including the 2023 World Health Assembly Resolution 7919, which calls states to accelerate efforts for preventing micronutrient deficiencies and their consequences through safe and effective food fortification. Together, we are also contributing to Agenda 2063 and the Sustainable Development Goal SDGs, ensuring that our region remains on track to combat micronutrient deficiencies through collective actions.
Experience in terms of Kenya as a country really taking up additional programs on fortification. And what I mean by that is that onboarding additional food vehicles that are used to deliver micronutrients. Some of these we've had edible oils and fats, and you know very well that our oils and fats that we consume as edible are fortified with different vitamins and minerals and all that as part of the fortification program. The other bit has been our success in the area of wheat flour fortification as a food vehicle. And in fact, for wheat flour, we've also done very well. I believe we've done more than 80%. We just need to check the facts. But I know because a lot of also wheat that we import, it's always mandatory that anything we are importing perhaps has to be fortified. We've also made a lot of progress with the maize fortification, maize flour fortification. Though compliance has also not been very good because of the, most Kenyans in our local environment, in the village, in most places where we live, people do or just do the normal milling and just consume maize. And you know that as a country, we rely heavily on maize as a staple food. And therefore, there's been a lot of effort by organizations such as GAIN, others like also working in this space, including government, KEBS, and everyone else, including the premix suppliers. And these are suppliers who are involved in fortificant production and working closely with the millers to ensure that at least the compliance levels come up. A lot of the times we talk about hunger, which is largely around food insecurity. And this is important because that is where everything starts and ends. But then there is a challenge of what we call hidden hunger. And this hidden hunger is a micronutrient deficiency that a lot of us who sometimes even feel we are food secure, we are not able to meet the micronutrient requirements that our bodies need for development, for better health, generally even for economic growth as a country. So this is why to us fortification is a very important program. As I say, it's not just a health imperative, but economically it's also a critical thing that really needs to be talked about. And I would say that as a country, for instance, GAIN has been part of this journey since we set foot in this country. Just to correct, the fortification bit in terms of salt iodization started in early 70s. In fact, it's one of the long-standing programs that Kenya has perfectly delivered on iodization of salts, where you know very well, we used to have cases of goiter and a lot of health problems that are related to lack of iodine and all that in our foods. But because of salt iodization program that universally is agreed, and as you've heard even from the conference, it is something that really we are proud as member states that we've done very well to reduce as much as possible cases of goiter and other complications that come as a result of micronutrient deficiencies.
The most important food which is widely in many countries fortified by law passed by government is wheat flour. We have more than 28 African countries. And of course it is followed with maize flour. The third one is vegetable oil. And then of course the other one is salt. Salt is universally being fortified. Then the recent commodity, we say the kid on the block, the new kid on the block is rice. Many African countries consume rice. And most of this rice is imported, either from India or Bangladesh or Vietnam. And some of the countries produce the rice within Africa. In Western Africa, it is mostly produced. Nigeria is now going to be rice self-sufficient. In Eastern Africa, we have Tanzania, which is producing a lot of rice and imports some. Now, because the consumption of rice is increasing within African country, we want to believe that this rice needs to have nutrients in. You know, the rice is white rice. People need white rice, and that is carbohydrates. So we believe that white rice, which is only carbohydrates, is not sufficiently enough with the vitamins and the minerals, and that needs to be fortified with the vitamins. So this brings me into the technology of fortification of what? Rice. Because children are eating it, women are eating it, youth are eating it. It is quick to process and produce or cook. Rice is dusted with vitamins and the minerals. And then when you dust it, it means during cooking, Africans want to wash the rice first. You will wash away all the what? The dust, which has the vitamins and minerals. And Africans like decanting the rice. When you're cooking rice, some of the water, which has already been boiled, rice has been boiled with, you will separate that rice, the water away. And then that water will have a lot of the vitamins and the minerals. You will pour it away. Government's role is in passing legislation. All governments across Africa, they are mandated to pass laws. The laws make it universal for every person. They call it level playing field. For the private sector to be able to do the fortification, if you have 10 industries and you make it by law, it means all the 10 industries will invest in food fortification. But if you make it voluntary, one will choose and the other one will not choose. So I want to appeal to governments across to at least make fortification of all these food vehicles, where it is relevant, mandatory by law. The second is, if you make the law, you should be able to enforce the law. You cannot make a law which you cannot enforce. Therefore, I want to urge governments to invest resources in the institutions that enforce the law.